flying with the birds, I wanna fly away. What's up, Riveter Nation? This is Halo the Riveter coming at you today. This fine early morning. It's not late at night, it's just early in the morning. It's not super early, it's about 5 o'clock, I believe. Anyways, today I wanted to talk about a video, or I want to talk about a topic that I'm most likely going to have to do another video on in the future. And it's about overcoming certain fears as a new rider and which ones that I've had to overcome. So this morning I woke up extra early because I'm actually overcoming one right now. I'm riding on one of the main roads, and so you probably hear me say a lot and have long pauses. Probably edit those out. All right, and we're also going to be going over a bridge today. So normally I am afraid of bridges. It's one of my fears, only because my first car, I had a Ford Fiesta, a little small white Ford Fiesta, and there was a bridge I would constantly have to, or an overpass that I would always have to ride on. And it's not that I'm afraid of heights, because I'm definitely not. It's just the unknown factor of the bridge. You know, it could collapse, all kinds of stuff. I shouldn't be talking about this before I actually hit the bridge on the bike, but and so I would always say to myself, like, oh my gosh, I would hate to stall in a place like this. Like, this would be the worst place to stall out. So my first job I worked there, or sorry, my third job I worked there for about 5 years, and so I took that commute pretty much every day. And one fateful day, after always psyching myself out about that stupid bridge, lo and behold, the Ford Fiesta gives out on the crest of the bridge. Like, as soon as it's just churning over, she dies. And she locks up. I can't get her down into any other gear or up into any other gear. She just kaput dies. And so there's like people driving by. It's a one lane overpass. So there's people, you know, driving and all around me, like trying to pass me. I'm so glad that I was in my Fiesta, only because she was a smaller car, and there was more room for other people to pass while I'm just this helpless little car. I was stuck on the side of the road, or the side of one lane. So today, yes, I'm driving on a bigger road than I normally do, and I'm going to be crossing a bridge. I see it right now, and now there's a car behind me. That's great. All right. Here's the bridge. It's not that big of a deal. It's not even a huge bridge. Oh man, I had built this thing up so much in my head. I decided last night that, hey, tomorrow's video I'm going to do overcoming fears, or tomorrow's topic I want to talk about overcoming fears, and what would be better than, you know, trying to overcome a fear that I have. So I decided to drive on one of the main streets instead of my little peaceful back road that I have found, and to go over the bridge. And it's done, but unfortunately I have to do that twice because I still got to go back home. And so I picked early morning because in my mind there's going to be less traffic, although I don't factor in, like, the traffic that I am going to hit is going to be the people who actually are still going to work, so probably aren't even going to be paying attention. So that's just great. So yeah, I overcame the bridge and I'm on the road, which I'm sure my stress and anxiety level is really high right now. But that's how it is being a new rider, you know. Especially for myself, I ride, or I live in a big city in Texas, and so there may be like little pockets of areas where I can ride and just not be super afraid. But of course, I mean, traffic is traffic is traffic, and what I mean by traffic when I say that is, you know, having other cars on the road with me, the other ones who belong. I mean, in all seriousness, what has kind of been annoying me recently, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I really don't care because this is just my personal opinion, is these bicyclists that ride in the street. I mean, you guys have more patience for them than you do me as a motorcycle rider. Like, and they ride way slower. It's ridiculous. So these bicyclists that just take up a whole lane, they have no care in the world. They literally don't care. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and you better accept it. Like, it's ridiculous. Let's see if the gate is open. Oh, is it? It is. I'm not trying to disturb the fish guys. Some people went out early today. That means if this is open, then the other beach has to be open. So that was a beautiful sight. I drove with traffic. I went over the bridge, and I was rewarded for it, you know, with that beautiful semi sunrise. At least just seeing the signs of the sun coming up. And I think that's the thing with life, you know, like, I think if you overcome your fears, whatever they may be, they don't even have to be motorcycle related. Like, if you overcome your fears, then you get rewarded with it. You get rewarded, like I got rewarded with that beautiful sight, you know, on the beach. It was nice, it was quiet, and, you know, know. Once I turned off the bike, once I turned Onyx off, I'm sure I didn't disturb as many people. But you once you face your fear and you overcome, you have that sense of relief. It's tranquil for a minute. Or if you're still facing them, it's not as tranquil. But you know what I mean. And that's also the thing with life is that, you know, my big thing is right now I have to go back home because I have to get back on the main road. I have to face all these cars before it's too much traffic, because I don't want to be on the road with all these cars just because of my lack of experience. So that's also like, I would love to stay and watch the sunrise completely. I would love it. It'd be the best thing right now. But because I'm afraid of these cars that I'm going to potentially face, I miss out on that, you know? And I think that goes with life as well, you know? Like, you face your fears, you get rewarded of it. And then if you let your fears determine your actions, then you pay consequences for that, you know? My consequence is I don't get to watch the complete sunrise. But I'm safe, so that's great. Winning. And then I get to go down this really cool road. Ooh. That was sharper than I expected, but that works. There we go. That's a little bit better. And these houses are just amazing. Look at that. It's crazy, you know? It's really crazy. Okay, so another one of the fears that I hit with, or that I have as being a new rider, one of them, of course, is riding on the street with cars. Just because, yes, I practice, yes, I do, but yes, I practice. How about you? I do practice, but at the end of the day, it's always best that you know your limits. If you know yourself, you're not going to be comfortable, then don't put yourself in harm's way, you know. You will get there eventually. Don't fast forward it. You don't want to see the ending if you fast forward it, is what I'm trying to say. That is a badass clock. That is so cool. I gotta abide by the rules. Gotta go 30, Onyx. Oh, you can go faster? What? I'm used to being in the truck and having to be like, oh shoot, we gotta slow down. But with Onyx, I'm always doing the speed limit or grandma low. All right, back on track. So when I first sat on the bike and I felt the full weight of it, I was like, no way, there's no way that I can ride, you know, like this bike is heavy. And then my soul was awakened from the call of the motorcycle when I revved that engine for the first time. I revved it, I felt the power of it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is amazing. So from then on, I determined that, yeah, if I really wanted to learn how to ride and do it the correct way. So that was a fear. It's just overcoming the weight of the bike, for sure. So overcoming the weight of the bike. And then my next fear that I had was stalling the bike out. As a new rider, like getting all, oh my gosh, see, like I'm clearing way outside the lines. But in all fairness, I was oh shit, scary ass dog. What the hellfire? Gosh, I'm has a whole bunch of fears today. Oh. This is horrible, man. Okay. I was expecting this to be like a slow pace. I'm not gonna have enough content for this video, but apparently, sheesh, there's other plans in store for me. So stalling the bike out, you know, as a new motorcycle rider, there's a lot that goes into actually getting the bike in motion. I know you advanced riders think that that's stupid, but for me, it's quite a bit. So to get the bike in motion, like you have to like ease off the clutch just the right amount. You have to roll on throttle just the right amount. And then you're working with this new thing called friction zone. And it's a lot. And in the riding academy, I know I referenced that, but I went to the riding academy when I first started, or when I said I wanted to learn how to ride. I went to Harley Davidson Riding Academy, and it was great because it's a controlled environment that you can learn, you know. And so I stalled the bike out quite a bit. I'm sure my instructors were very frustrated with me, but at the end of the day, At least I learned every single time I stalled the bike, I learned something new. I don't want to look like an idiot. I think a bug just hit my neck. It's killing me. I thought that was like a speed gun. It's literally a bicycle with a slide. I think I need one of those. I think I'm only supposed to be doing like 30 on this bridge. Look, we have achieved victory. We are victorious, and it's a wonderful sight. Pretty cool, pretty cool. All right. Oh, there's some more bicyclists in Morse code saying, "Help me. I really want to join the motorcycle club." Oh, man. Another thing is, you know, starting and stopping. So, like sequentially without stalling out the bike. And of course on the street you have to do that. You can't just have your bike die on you. There's you know, distracted driving is at an all-time high. Like, people don't pay attention, so you don't want to have a stalled out bike in an intersection is boom, your pink dust. You don't want it. So what I would do when I first got the bike is I would go to a empty cul-de-sac in my neighborhood, and I would practice start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, circle, start, stop, circle, and back. You know? And I would do that because I did not want to be pink dust on the road. And so overall, what I would also do is there was an active street that I would have to cross to get to the cul-de-sac, and it was pretty wide. And so just going from the stop sign to the next street, it was always a fear of mine because I didn't want to stall out in the middle of the street, you know. It was horrible. But eventually I got it. And so, like, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I would stall the bike out and I would have to like walk it really quickly across the street. It was horrible. And then I had built enough courage to start doing stop signs in the neighborhood. So I would just literally drive around the neighborhood for 30-45 minutes and practicing at the stop sign, pretending it was a light, and just going from there. Then I built up courage because I was pushed out of the net when Onyx ran out of gas. So Onyx ran out of gas and I had to fill her up, or else I had nothing to practice with, you know. So I was like, dang it, like this time I'm gonna have to, like, there's no avoiding it. I'm going to have to take her on the street. And so luckily for me, there's a gas station that's relatively close to where I live. So I woke up really early, just like I did today, and I made sure that they were open, and I went and got gas, and that was an adventure in and of itself. But I did it, and then I rode the street back to the house, and then I practiced in the neighborhood as always. Of course, there's this one lovely road that you guys have seen, and that has been my niche recently, to go out and to ride. I ride all the way down, and I come back and I ride all the way down again, and then I U-turn, go all the way down, take a few pictures maybe of Onyx on the way. And it's very repetitive, and it could be very boring for advanced people, but for me, it's the exhilaration of the ride. Like today, I was kind of stressing about this ride because I knew I was going to go a different route. I know it's not like the roads aren't super packed, but you know, it's enough cars to make me uncomfortable as a new rider. But I'm dedicated, you know, I'm dedicated to learning how to ride. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I always think like maybe if I had somebody who was learning or somebody who did ride, that they can help me, and it would be easier because it would have, you know, an ally on the road with me. 2 bikes is better than 1. But I don't. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to learn the slow way. And that's, I mean, like today, like that's the thing that actually helps you learn the milestones. Like School of Hard Knocks is where it's at as far as learning anything, at least for me, I've seen. And you know, maybe that's the best way to learn, because once I do something wrong, I'm never gonna do that again. You know, there's going to be a lot of fears that you're going to face in whatever that you aspire to do, or whatever that you seek to advance yourself in. My best advice to you is to just go out there, give it your best shot, and leave it all on the road or leave it all wherever. You know, at the end of the day, if you're trying, you're getting somewhere, but never stay stagnant. So stagnant is like a bayou or a body of water, anything that has no motion in it. So the oceans are thriving with life because there's constant movement, there's whole ecosystems going on in there. But if you just see a puddle of water, there's always going to be a bunch of mildew and mold. It's an ugly picture because there's no life, there's no movement, it's stagnant. And so anything that you venture out to do, you don't want to do it in a sense of stagnation, if that's even a word. But you don't want to get stagnant in it. You always want to, it's always forward motion, always forward motion. You never want to go backwards, you know. And if it takes you a while to get comfortable, then okay, never just deadline. Always try to go up, deadline up, like always try to go up in everything that you do. And that's how you obtain excellence in anything that you want to do, you know. It's going to be just putting in the hours and putting in the work. But once you do it, it's definitely worth it, is what I'm going to say. Always worth it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this ride around with oh man, we experienced some fears, some irrational fears, of course, fear of bridges, and the dog that almost bit my leg off. But I don't know if GoPro captured that or not. They're so finicky. Always forward motion, ride safe, rubber side down as always. And I hope that you guys learned a little bit. I know I did. I had quite the adventure this morning. I'm very happy with myself. Until next time, peace.